Hey there, writers and newsdaters. I'm super excited to be here today with Emily, who is in the writing gym with us. She's one of our gym rats, and we've got a lot to celebrate with Emily today about her journey. So welcome, Emily.
Thank you.
So let's start at the beginning. Tell us what it is that you are writing and why you're writing it.
Okay. I've been playing around with writing mostly short stories, mostly writing for kids because I'm an elementary school teacher, and had this vision 2 years ago to write a novel set in ancient Egypt because I studied and taught the theme, and I have a real story to tell about the artist's life in Egypt. And so I chose a time period, and I chose a New Kingdom period, and I chose an actual historical time, and I researched that. And from there, I'm trying to set my character in a historical setting. So there's a couple of real events that happen in Egypt that happen in my story, but it's loosely based on this, or what it's like to be an artist in Egypt, painting temples, working in tombs, and which it is a very respected lifestyle. You could, it's quite high up on the caste system in this dictatorship of Egypt.
That's wonderful. And it's a fascinating read. And, tackling middle grade historical fiction is no small undertaking. So kudos on that. That's celebration number one, is taking it on and really having something meaningful for students like your students to read and get some meaning out of, both historically, but also, developmentally, as they're dealing with the things that kids deal with. So you and I met at a bookstore, a local bookshop, where I was running a class, doing an activity with some writers, some local writers. Walk us back to that moment. Where were you with your writing back then?
Back then, I was just fantasizing about writing. Actually, I really was, and I was trying to work up the courage to take it more seriously. And yeah, it just seemed like something to do on a Saturday. I was just pretty much surprised myself that I went, but I enjoyed it. And I met you, and I thought right away, I was like, that's someone who I could actually work with.
That's great. And then, so fast forward us to, I don't know what, 2 months ago or something, when you and I were on the phone. What was the shift in you that said, okay, like I'm ready, like now's the time, this is the person, I'm going to get this done?
I had written the story, revised it a couple times. I was sort of at a standstill, but I was not ready to submit. I knew I wasn't ready to submit. And I knew I needed professional help with the submission process. And that's what I thought I was kind of going for. But then when I talked with you, being able to revise it and learn about writing has been the gift. And you made that really clear when you described what the publishing mastermind was. That maybe the end result is getting published, but throughout it all, you're going to learn a lot. And so that's just been great. That's what I'm celebrating.
Well, and that's what I was going to say, is that, the things that you and I have talked about, that you've talked with other members of the writing gym about, have been in what you've learned. And I remember in that first session, when you made the transition from the reading period where I was reading your manuscript and you were doing some reading research, to where we really started digging in on the manuscript, your energy was so high. You had so much to celebrate. So let's time warp back to that moment. What was going on for you then?
Really, you guided us to look at currently published works in your genre, and really from the point of view of a reader's point of view. And so that reading period where I wanted to be writing, but I used it to really understand techniques and learn other techniques and experiment with other techniques and know know what's out there and get to know authors who I might not have otherwise looked into, and read some uh, different styles of writing within my genre.
Mhm. And
And
as I recall, it gave you a new perspective on that revision. You came in with sort of this openness, or a new openness, a new set of ideas, a new way to look at your manuscript, maybe even. Is that resonating with you?
definitely. One specific thing I came up with a lot of things, but books right now are written a lot in dialogue, and dialogue is hugely important for the story. In fact, one book that I read was like pure dialogue. It made me rethink my story. Characters needed to be doing more
Mhm.
and speaking and interacting, and sometimes it's that those character moments where they're thinking, so one character's thinking one thing and the other character is and they're saying something else, so that is sort of has like another form of communication that you can do in writing that you can't really do in other forms of storytelling.
Excellent,
So
excellent. And let's celebrate your choice to get the help that you needed to join the Writing Gym program. We can never know the answer to this, but you've been with us for just over a month, something like that. So where do you think that you would be if you hadn't made that choice?
I'd be procrastinating. I'd be waiting for some moment to strike. And I, frankly, because I'm home and not working right now because of the health crisis, I'd be probably climbing up the walls. I have a real project right now that is consuming all of my days, and it's wonderful. I'm really inspired to be doing it. So
That's wonderful.
the
Well,
timing was
inspiration
serendipitous.
and community too. I would imagine that having all those fellow gym rats is pretty powerful in your daily interactions and inspiration.
It is, yeah. And I think that's a really great thing about the writing gym, is that anytime you join something that has community emphasis, you're gonna like it more.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, and I mean, I know what that looks like, and you know what it looks like now, but pull back the curtain for the people who are watching and they're like, well, writing gym community, what does that mean?
um, it means that you see people's faces and you talk to people about their writing, and you meet people who are sort of doing the same process as you, and then we get to write together a couple times a month and give each other feedback in a way that is really confidence building. So that's been helpful, and it just makes me like writing more.
Yeah. And you've mentioned quite a few celebrations, from inspiration to progress on your manuscript, community, confidence. Is there one takeaway that stands out as a bigger celebration than the others, or do they just all feel like big moments for you?
Uh, no, for me, I just feel maybe it's the confidence part, but it's also feeling like, I want to see this project to the end, but I'm kind of thinking about some other writing projects, and knowing that I can write. That was sort of the this book is my first longer. I've written a lot of short stories, but and the reason why I started this project was like, I wonder if I could actually write a longer a longer piece. And I used to be really concerned about word count. Now I'm just concerned about the story. It's really fun to have that switch. I remember when I was struggling to get to 20,000 words, I was like, I'll never do it. I'll never do. Now I'm at 40,000 words, but it doesn't matter anymore. Because I know what I want to say and where I need to say it a little bit, and how I can drag it out, not drag it out, but make it add more tension to make the story. Then the words just doesn't matter; they just come.
That's great. And, Emily, you made a really important distinction around, there might be editors out there or something who are like helping you to do a book. but the writing gym is helping you to be your very best writer. And I think that one of your early ahas was, oh my gosh, this isn't just about a book. This is about me and about all the skills that I can apply to my future. How did that feel?
That's been the greatest investment. It is an investment in yourself. And yeah, so to get that out of that means I'll be pleased.
Wonderful. And we set out to celebrate a whole lot today. Were there any other celebrations that we wanted to mention that I forgot about, Emily?
Uh, uh, just I guess just the being able to take a risk and know that the potential is there, that you can really learn things online, and you really can meet people online. I've never done that before, and work with someone like this. It's I thought I had to take a college class, but I'm way beyond college. I don't want to take a college class, but or do a master's program. I've done that. This is something that's real, that you just apply to life. And
Oh, that's beautiful. I love
yeah,
that.
it's taking a risk, but it's been worth it for me.
That's wonderful. And when your writer friends, or if your writer friends ask you, what is this writing gym? Like, why should I care about this? Should I do this? What would you, or what do you tell them?
I guess I would tell them that Annalisa Parent is incredibly professional, and it's an inquiry-based study where you, as the guide, kind of asks the right questions to make you grow on your own.
That's great. Well, I'll take it. That was really beautiful and very concise. So thank you for that. Emily, you are doing such an amazing job. I know we met this morning on your manuscript, and the depth that you're giving your character right now, the way that you're really digging into the multiple layers of your plot. It was great when I got it in hard copy form. Originally, I have it right here because we were meeting about it this morning. And it's going to be even better. I can't wait to see your book in print. So excited to be a part of this process.
Thank you.
All right. Congratulations, Emily. Hey, everybody who's watching, send your congratulations to Emily. She's doing a great job. And we just love having her in the writing gym.
Thank you. I love being here. All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.